Okay. Okay then, so good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, September 10th, 2020. The time is 11 a.m. This is a special meeting. It's actually our Human Resources considering personnel changes. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
No, there are no changes.
Okay, no changes. Thank you, Kim. The first item of business, and we've got a number of them today, is Employee Lateral Relocation Bonus, Sheriff's Office.
And Marcia Hegley from the Sheriff's Office is joining us via call-in.
Okay. Marcia?
No, they're not. It's not connecting.
Can you handle it, Kim? Yeah, go right ahead. This way we don't.
As you know, we've got a lateral.
Pull that
Yeah,
mic.
pull the
close
mic
to you,
over. There you go.
please.
As
There.
you know, we have a lateral
Good.
bonus program and a relocation bonus program for detention and patrol deputies. And they have two applicants that have come on board that are now eligible for those bonuses. So Kelly Fornes is eligible for a lateral bonus, and then Mark.
That's 2,500?
2,500, and Marcus Bentley is eligible for the lateral and the relocation bonus for a total of 5,000. So
Okay.
we are bringing both of those before you today to be approved.
And that is a matter of policy, isn't it? That is our standard policy?
Correct.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the employee lateral and relocation bonuses for Marcus Bentley and the lateral bonus for Kelly Fornes.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 2, request for relocation reimbursement for the assessor's office. Joe, did you want to speak to this? Or Kim, do you want to, whoever?
Somebody handle it.
Thank you, Commissioners. Joe Johns for the record. We have recruited an individual with great qualifications to come in as an appraiser 2 within the assessor's office. This individual is coming from the state of Virginia, has years of ad valorem experience with the city of Roanoke, has experience with our current appraisal system. So be minimal training, and what we're asking for is to be able to provide a relocation reimbursement to this individual upon their arrival.
And that's the $2,500?
Yes.
2,500, okay. Questions?
It is subject to repayment should the individual terminate or separate from the county.
In less than, what is it, 12 months?
I believe we've got 6 months on there.
Oh, 6 months, okay.
I thought you were going to put 30 years on it.
That's not a bad idea.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? Okay, motion?
I move that we approve the assessor's office request for relocation reimbursement.
I'm just curious, Joe, if there was a reason why you went 6 months and not a year. Is a year typical, or?
We went 6 months only because we have 2 prior instances within the last 3 years where we've provided this to employees that we've recruited from out of the area, and that period was a 6-month period.
Okay, second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 3, ICRIPP insurance, thank you, Joe. ICRIPP insurance policy changes related employment practices liability. Would that be John? Cecilia? Who's going to handle this?
It doesn't matter whoever wants to go first. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention and ask if we are going to require our department heads to follow this new guideline of contacting ICRIPP before any adverse employment action is taken. And I'm kind of sad that we can't get Darren on the phone. Can you get him on your phone? Sure. Okay. And then maybe just put him on the speaker.
Yeah, put him on the speaker.
Yeah. Because I don't think that we can require other elected officials to do this, but I was just wondering if we could, if we wanted to require our department heads to do this. Hi, Darren. We're talking about the new ICRIMP requirements, and I brought it up to the board to ask if we were interested in requiring our department heads, and I don't think that we are able to require elected officials to follow this. It's kind of up to them. Is that correct?
Yes. Hey, I did try to call in, and I think somebody else is waiting on the line.
Yeah,
as well.
I know, but I can't, for some reason, the phone's not.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's the difficult part is requiring, you can require your departments, but mandating elected officials to utilize the prosecutor's office, utilize HR, or utilize HR counsel, the board cannot compel that.
Okay.
But there are some things that the board could do. So if you set such a policy and it's not followed, there are some things that the board could do.
All right. I can meet with you later and we can go over those things if you like and put it on the next HR meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you saying there are things we can do that would make it mandatory for the other elected officials?
Some penalty. Yes, some penalties if they don't do it, but you can't compel it. They can just choose to receive the penalty.
Oh, like laying off half the staff? Never mind. Okay, so.
Yeah, you'll kind of, I would be surprised that any of the electeds, they probably won't like it at first, but this really isn't any different than our current process.
Yeah, if there's a potential adverse action being taken against an employee, why would somebody, an elected official or department head, not contact ICRIPP?
Right, so my practice every time, Chris,
Yeah, go ahead.
is if there is a personnel action that looks like could potentially turn into litigation, and err on the side of caution on that, so more often than not, then I always call ICRIPP's in-house counsel, Carl Erickson, and ask him, we go over the case together and some issues that I've seen, and then I ask him if he will assign counsel, which in recent years they've always done.
Understood.
Several years ago, they didn't do that. And I can tell you historically, back before I worked for the county, when I was part of the ICRIPP panel, they hired me quite frequently to do this when that was their practice way back when. But what I was told was that at some point became not cost effective for ICRIPP, so they stopped that practice. And now it looks like they want to implement it again. And what I'm told the reasons were not necessarily big counties like Kootenai County, that's HR and legal staff. It's those smaller insureds that just don't have those resources. So they kind of sent out this, well, not kind of, they did send out this shotgun blast letter. And I know some people have been offended by it. Carl Erickson told me that. But it really wasn't intended for Kootenai County. But they sent it out to everyone. The letter, to me, seems kind of clumsy the way it was drafted, but their intent, I understand it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you and Leslie will get together?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that works, Leslie.
Okay.
Thanks,
Sounds
Darren.
good. Moving on to item 4, approval of fiscal year 21 salary increases for general pay plan, attorney pay plan, chief deputy plan, sworn officer matrix, and elected officials HR. Sylvia, please.
Sylvia Proud, HR Director for the record. So what we've sent to each of the commissioners is a massive spreadsheet created by Nancy Pluff that lists all 800 and some employees on it. And what's factored into that is the COLA that we would be eligible for. So for the some of the things that factored into that spreadsheet include continuation of the fiscal year 20 wage adjustments,
Correct.
including adjusting grades 3 through 12. Employees capped at 5% were given their remainder of their increase and then their COLA, and same with grades 3 through 12. Okay, sorry, I thought someone was mentioning my name. So then what we did is the general pay plan, which includes the attorneys and the chief deputies, and are eligible for that 2% COLA, okay? The elected officials are in this list as well, and we factored the 2% COLA for the elected officials, excluding Commissioner Duncan, as she chose not to accept the COLA increase. 1.8% COLA for the employees on the sworn officer matrix, okay? We didn't on this spreadsheet include their movement of their step. That is approved. That happens through status change form documents, but it's been budgeted. So the spreadsheet that you're approving today is the COLA increases. We do have one employee in the general pay plan that falls out of their pay range with the 2% COLA, so they were not factored in to get an increase, because then it falls outside of the pay ranges, even with the pay ranges being adjusted by that COLA. So that employee was not eligible to receive anything unless the board directs us to do something else with that individual.
Okay.
Okay, so that is a summary of the schedule that we are seeking approval for implementation October 1st, 2020 for the employees. Questions?
Yeah, so the question, the sworn matrix, okay, that's not included here.
Right, it's just the COLA.
It's just the COLA. Go ahead. And the reason being?
Okay, so our comp team talked about it. The sworn officer matrix is in the budget, but those come based on anniversary
Anniversary,
date.
okay, that was
So,
gonna be my next
and
question.
it's approved by the board for them to get their one step. But our spreadsheet isn't across the board for all employees based on the COLA they were eligible for.
Okay.
And so through status change form, you end up approving those as they come up.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
But those dollars are in the budget.
Those
for it.
dollars are in the budget. Okay. Any questions? Motion? Who wants?
I think this is Bill's.
Yeah, go ahead.
I move that we approve the spreadsheet and pay plan as submitted by HR.
Second?
Aye.
Nay.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 5, approval of fiscal year 21 salary schedules for general pay plan attorney, chief deputy, and attorney pay plan, chief deputy pay plan, and sworn officer matrix HR. Sylvia?
Okay, so what you have before you are two colorful documents that indicate the general pay plan, the attorney pay plan, and the chief deputy pay plan on one sheet. That salary schedule has been adjusted by 2%, plus we adjusted grades 3 through 12, as indicated before. So what we're asking for is approval of that document as well as the sworn officer matrix, which has been adjusted 1.8% for within their steps and so forth. And we also adjusted the salaries of the undersheriff and the sheriff based on the direction we had from the board.
So question, Sylvia, how does number 5 on the agenda differ from number 4?
Number 4 is per employee. So every employee is on your spreadsheet. So you're saying,
Go ahead.
okay, Sylvia Proud, you're eligible for your 2% increase. We're approving that salary increase by
Okay.
employee. This is the overall schedules that'll guide us throughout the year of what we can bring new employees in at, and also for our own recruitment processes.
Okay. Any questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the FY '21 salary schedules for general pay plan, attorney pay plan, chief deputy pay plan, and officer sworn matrix.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 6, fiscal year 20 one-time flat rate bonus stipend, for general pay plan, attorney pay plan, and chief deputy pay plan employees, HR. And by the way, I think the word bonus here is a misuse, but go right ahead, Sylvia, please.
Okay. So at the July 16th final budget deliberation meeting, there was discussion about some equity, since the sworn officers were getting 1.8 plus a step, and initially we couldn't afford to do a 2.5% COLA for the employees under the general pay plans. That towards the end of this year, there would be some consideration and discussion of a bonus being given if there was salary savings. So the comp team is just bringing that forward to let you know. Nancy Pluff has done some preliminary evaluation of salary savings, which is totaling about $1.182 million. There is potential dollars if you were wanting to award some sort of a bonus to there's about 600 employees who would be eligible. We didn't include the elected officials in this analysis. And so that's where we'd like to open up the discussion and seeing if we need to do something from the comp team side related to this issue.
Okay, so no elected officials and no sworn.
No sworn.
Okay. So essentially what we're doing here, you're going back, you cited the meeting of July 16th.
Yes.
And I believe I was the one at that meeting that said, listen, let's forego anything at this point in terms of a stipend or an adjustment and delay it to see what kind of salvage, to your word, savings that we had toward the end of the year to try to make the adjustment. And the rationale was that we had basically tilted the pay scale toward the sworn and essentially took some of it away, if you will, from the general pay plan, the 600 employees that you're referring to. So given the savings that we've enjoyed over the year right now in terms of the overall payroll of, what is it, 1.18 million, we can afford to make some sort of an adjustment, whatever that comes out to, for the general pay plan for the 600 employees that were withheld.
Yes, 650 employees.
650?
As I recall,
Yes.
we did not actually on the 16th vote on that, is that correct?
Yeah, we did, yeah,
Correct.
there was no formal vote.
No,
Okay.
just discussion.
Just discussion. So any thoughts?
I'd like more time to think about this. I didn't realize it was coming forward. So that's just where I'm at.
I don't need any more time. I'm ready to vote on it.
Okay.
So in your folder, what the comp team had looked at with that 1.182 million, potentially a $700 bonus, that's just a number thrown out, loaded, at the loaded rate we were provided by the auditor's office, that would total, I should have got my glasses, $558,603.50 loaded. That would leave you a remainder of savings of over $623,000,
So we're not using it all.
not using it all.
Yeah, okay. Go right ahead, Nancy. Please come forward.
I just wanted to give you something to compare it to. The average step increase for the officers, the sworn officers that are eligible to move through a step is $1,650 per year. So that is the annual increase to their salary. So we're not even asking for half of that for the remaining 650 employees. If that helps.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, Darren, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you and Leslie had a discussion about, and I don't like using the word bonuses, but I guess that's what it was. What occurred there?
It was merit-based.
It was merit-based. What was your conclusion?
So the merit-based, the process that the board was contemplating last time was a very subjective process, and it created the strong potential for disparate impact of employees. Where a more objective process like this one that Sylvia has proposed does not. It's completely objective. It's across the board. There is really no problem with potential disparate impact, if that was the question.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I'm going to throw, no, go right ahead, please.
Chris, I agree. Bonus is kind of an unfair term, so Sylvia and I had discussed another term, but now it escapes my mind.
Stipend?
It was like a one-time payment. I'm looking to see if I have that document with me. A one-time adjustment payment for non-sworn employees?
Right. It was just a payment because bonus to the layperson implies that it's based upon some sort of, hey, the business had a profit
Performance,
this year.
right.
Or that employee performed in such a manner, maybe their sales were so high that employee deserves a bonus, a piece of the profit. Where this just isn't that. This is more of a, hey, we're just trying to keep up with the cost of living. So the one-time payment makes more sense. Sounds more accurate, probably will sound more accurate to the public as well.
Okay,
These are budgeted dollars. This is not.
yeah, come on up.
During the July 16th meeting, if anybody wants to go back, it's about an hour and 11 minutes in, the discussion takes place. Well, Dina sums it up very nicely at an hour and 11 minutes in. But at that time, it was discussed that if there were any salary savings, we would look at giving those out in the one-time payments or even going into fund balance to make this happen. That's not necessary. These are the $1.18 million in salary savings was budgeted dollars. This is not increasing anyone's property tax. This is not increasing the budget. Those were budgeted dollars that remained unspent for the year. So I just wanted to make that clear. No fund balance use, no anything else. This is strictly budgeted dollars.
So let me ask this question. Maybe you can answer it. If not, maybe Dina can. How did we manage to budget as much as we did? Is it that we just didn't hire as many people? Is it savings that have occurred over the year that? Well, you have open positions that are unfilled. Okay. You don't use overtime. Okay.
And overtime was calculated into that 1.18. I took the average of all the salary accounts and the overtime. So if anybody overspent their overtime, that was factored in as well.
So it's just the wage section. There's temps in there, there's seasonals in there. So there's always going to be some variability.
Okay.
You also have to.
Open positions are in there too.
You also have to take into account that the number one reason for exits over the last 3 years is retirement. And so those are folks that have been here a while and you're replacing them with lower paid individuals.
Oh, okay, good point. Okay. Leslie, Bill, any questions? Still want more time?
No, I can vote no right now.
Okay. I'm not in favor of 700. I'll go to 500. I think we've had enough time to ponder this. You cited the meeting of July 16th where it was brought up. The savings is there, the adjustment, and I'm not going to call it a bonus for the reasons that Darren gave, but I think the adjustment is appropriate. I think the money's there. We're not taxing for it. And so I'm fine with 500. Bill, do you have any thoughts?
No, I don't.
So my concern is we're trying to build a building, and to have $500,000 go towards, this well, that's not bonus, but to the one-time payment, already $200,000 was taken out of our building fund. And so anything that can get returned to the general fund balance is going to be towards that new building that, we're just sticking, we've got this small conference room, we're sticking 3 judges clerks in this small conference room because we don't have any more room. So I rather focus on the building instead of this.
Bill?
No, you want a motion?
Oh, no, do you have any thoughts?
I think it's appropriate. I've looked at it, and I think we, without calling it a bonus, a one-time payment, which is what we discussed on July 16th, if the money were there, and it is there, without doing damage and without even using all the money that's there.
So what do you estimate at 500? $400,000 out of the available 1.1 million, okay. I think Leslie brings up a good point, but I see potential for the revenue to come in to make the construction projects very doable. And so I share the concern, I appreciate it, but I made a commitment, I can't say we, that if the money were available on July 16th, that we would take it up, and obviously it has to be a board vote. So go ahead, Bill, with the motion.
So 500,000 is what we're talking.
No. $500.
$500. Then how much does it translate to? 400,000. Okay, is that exact enough?
Well, it's 399 something, so.
You can just say 500 per person.
Yeah, just say $500 per person for the general pay plan.
Okay, I move that we approve the payment of $500 per person under the general pay plan. Try saying that 6 times in a row.
Plus the,
For non-sworn employees, with the exception of elected officials, is that correct? Okay. Is there a second? I'll second.
Aye.
nay.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank-
Okay, so that takes care of item 6. Okay, item 7, request for employee bonuses. Nick?
Thank you, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. I've had an opportunity to speak with each one of you regarding this. In the 14 years I've been director, I have not requested a non-budgeted bonus. However, the amount of hours, dedication, and absolute professionalism that I've witnessed in the last 6 months or so since COVID by a select few of our employees to keep county services commensurate with the public's expectations are notable enough for me to be here today to ask the board to award a one-time bonus. And I want to be clear for the record, this is a bonus and is predicated on their performance, exceptional performance. These employees were doing the work of 2 and 3 of their colleagues to keep us going. I don't think it's a secret to anyone that Parks and Waterways, particularly due to COVID and our visitors from across the street and throughout the U.S., they were extremely busy. And so they put off lots of personal appointments, their own vacations to get this done. So it's certainly warranted. And Commissioners, there is certainly some salary savings or overall budget savings, and I'll ask Dina to speak to that if you have any concerns. It's approximately $17,000 in anticipated savings. These bonuses, fully loaded, come to just under $3,000 for a total of 4 individuals. So I would be asking the Commissioners to approve those one-time, again, performance bonuses for these exceptional employees to be paid their next, prior to the end of the fiscal year, Dina? Mm-hmm. Prior to the end of the fiscal year, so the next available pay period.
I think it'd go in today. Yeah.
That's the request.
Okay. And I know these particular 4 individuals did not complain either.
Not one time.
Nick, I said yes, but I'm going to challenge you. We just passed a bonus for everyone. Your guys went above and beyond. So did solid waste. So did our staff when we had somebody out for a month, and so did other groups. Periodically, I look out my window, 90 degrees, 100 degrees, driver's license people going in and out, other folks, registration. I don't know that I want to make the exception now in light of the fact that we just passed the bonus for everyone.
So I would have to disagree on this because we did not pass a bonus for everyone. We passed an
Not a
equity,
bonus, a stipend,
an equity
Justin.
payment because the sworn were getting more of an increase. So to me, this is completely different. And with the addition, with the unexpected addition of snow groomers, that really threw the whole group for a loop, and they've had to make adjustments through the whole year. So that's why I support it.
So if 2 months from now, somebody else comes forward and says, okay, these individuals went above and beyond, you're going to do it?
I will absolutely listen to them and make a decision based on the facts.
That's where I'm coming from, too. I would agree.
Go ahead. Meaning what?
Well, I would agree that, I'm going to look at this one as an individual occurrence, and not decide future events based on what I'm hearing here today or what people have done.
Any other thoughts?
No.
Okay. Motion.
I move that we approve the requested employee bonuses for Parks and Waterways as outlined.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
I've done this maybe once before. In 3.5 years, I'm going to abstain. I understand where you're coming from. I'm not comfortable with it, and I want to send a message. I really don't want to see this going forward. We decided last year, not so much on the question of bonuses, but mid-year increases. And I, for one, going into fiscal '21, are going to take a very, very hard look, and that includes even promotions. So if we're going to make these adjustments, and we just went in with a 0% increase, I'm going to have to take a tough stand on it. But anyway, I'm going to abstain from this vote. Go right ahead, Tina. Oh, I guess I did.
That was it.
So you have your 2 votes, Nick.
Thank you, Darren.
Thanks.
Okay, public comment. I think I just made one.
Yes, you did.
Just real quick, I did want to say what we'll bring forward to you. I'll have to see if legal wants a full spreadsheet of every employee that would be getting that one-time payment, or if this is enough, the motion by the board was enough for that.
You can do a consent calendar item.
Yeah, I think a spreadsheet's probably most appropriate, if only because it's direction to the auditor's office.
Okay, all right, we'll do a spreadsheet, and just in
I know that's
consent
more work, but
calendar.
I think that's the cleanest way to do
Okay.
it.
Well, we'll just take out what we did on the salary plan and then list all those employees and put that flat amount. We're good, right, Nancy? I'm putting words in Nancy's mouth, sorry.
You're good?
Okay, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Public comment? None? 11:33, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.